In this video, we'll bring it all together, creating composite solids in architectural example. If you'd like to follow with this video, please open the file, bring it together create composite solids architectural.dwg located in the working files folder as discussed in the working with this dataset video. Let's bring it all together by creating a composite model of a lamp using all the different parts. Let's open up two viewports by navigating to the viewport controls, viewport configuration list, and to vertical. Let's set this one to a 2D wireframe. That way we can see through the 3D solids, and we'll keep this one realistic to kind of see what's going on in a shaded view. The first thing we're going to do is we need to subtract out the core from the pole here that we've defined. Let's navigate to the Home tab, Solid Editing panel, and we'll go ahead and choose the Subtract command. Remember, you're picking two selection sets. Select this one first, right-click or Enter, and then choose the core, and then right-click or Enter, and if we look at the shaded view, we now have that core part subtracted out. Let's go ahead and thaw our A-base layer. Now let's go ahead and move this, and then we'll go ahead and union it. We'll just do grip editing by simply selecting the object, picking the bottom circular grip here, and then navigating to the center snap to the correct location. And there's our move. And of course, we can look at the shaded view to see it in the shaded view as well. Now let's go ahead and union these objects to make them one complete entity. We want this one to govern, so we'll make sure we pick that one first. Let's navigate to the Home tab, Solid Editing panel, and then Union command. Select this object first, and then the base, press Enter, and notice how it all becomes one entity. Now, let's go ahead and thaw our lampshade and move it into the correct location. We'll zoom in here. Again, just using grip editing, we can simply select the object, and then pick the center grip here, and then we'll go ahead and zoom out a little bit to move this to the correct location, which is the center of this part right there. We can look at this in shaded view to kind of see what's going on as well. Now, while we're in the middle of this design process, let's go ahead and do an interference check to verify if we have any interferences. Navigate to the Home tab, Solid Editing panel, and then the Interfere command. Let's select every object in the drawing and press Enter. We don't need another selection set. We just want to check this one here, press Enter, and now if we look at the interfering pairs found, you'll see we have one object found. Let's go ahead and choose the 3D orbit, and we can zoom in where we can actually see the area where we have the interference. Press Escape, and instead of deleting it, we want to use that to subtract it out. Let's go ahead and toggle off Delete Interference Objects, and we'll click on Close here. We now have that object in the drawing. Let's run the Subtract command to subtract that out, and first we'll select the lampshade, right-click, and then choose the 3D solid that was created with the interference command, right-click again, and now that is fixed. Let's run the interference command again, select our objects, right-click, and then Enter, and Enter again, and as you can see, we now have no objects interfering. Let's go ahead and thaw the rest of our layers here, and what we want to do is we want to create an ornament of the intersection of these two solids here, and then we'll put the ornament as an array across the bottom part of the base. Let's go ahead and zoom in, and first we'll go ahead and move this to the correct location. Again, you can use the Move command, or simple grip editing works as well. Let's choose the Intersect command by going to the Home tab, Solid Editing panel, Intersect, and just select your objects, press Enter, and there is our ornament. Now, let's go ahead and move this circle as a template to define the array around. We'll go ahead and simply use the center grip here, and we'll go ahead and select the center snap right here. As you can see, it falls on the actual base itself. Now, let's go ahead and move this from the midpoint onto one of the quadrants of the base. It's much better to do this in the shaded view as you can actually see the dimensions of the ornament. Let's go ahead and start the Move command, select the object, and let's go ahead and do a Shift right-click to choose the mid between 2 points. And what we want to grab is the 3D midpoint there and the 3D midpoint here. That gets us to the center of the ornament. Do a Shift middle click, and then simply do a quadrant O-snap to the location like so. Now we can simply do a polar array by navigating to the Home tab, Modify panel, Array dropdown, and then Polar Array. So instead of copying this or rotating it, we can simply do a polar array. This will make it a lot easier. Select the object, press Enter, define your center point, and then pick the Items option in the command line and type in 4 and then Enter. And there is our model of our lamp.